a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Luther Bryan. Thomas Luther Bryan is an American country singer and songwriter. He began his musical career in the mid-2000s, writing songs for his longtime friends from high school, performers Tritt and Billy Currington, and releasing his first spring break album. After signing with Capitol Nashville in Nashville, Tennessee in 2007 with his cousin, Chad Christopher Boyd, he released the album I'll Stay Me, which included the singles, All My Friends Say, We Rode in Trucks, and Country Man. The follow-up album Doin My Thing included Do I, which Bryan co-wrote with Charles Kelley and Dave Haywood of Lady Antebellum, and the #1 singles, Rain Is a Good Thing, and Someone Else Calling You Baby, on the country charts. Tailgates Tanlines, released in 2011, includes Country Girl, and the #1 singles, I Don't Want This Night to End, Drunk on You, and Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye. Bryan's fourth album, Crash My Party, was released in August 2013 and includes the #1 singles, Crash My Party, That's My Kind of Night, Drink a Beer, Play It Again, Roller Coaster, and I See You. His fifth album, Kill the Lights, was released in August 2015 and its lead single, Kick the Dust Up, became his 13th #1 song, followed by his 14th #1, Strip It Down. Bryan co-wrote all of his singles, with the exception of Drunk on You, Crash My Party, That's My Kind of Night, Drink a Beer, Play It Again, Roller Coaster, Kick the Dust Up, and Home Alone Tonight, and co-produced all 4 albums and 1 compilation album with Jeff Stevens. Bryan was the recipient of the Academy of Country Music Awards and Country Music Association Awards, Entertainer of the Year award. To date, Bryan has sold over 7 million albums and 27 million singles worldwide. Early life. Bryan was born in rural Leesburg, Georgia to LeClaire and Tommy Bryan, a peanut farmer. Shortly before Luke was going to move to Nashville, at age 19, tragedy struck his family. My older brother, Chris, was unexpectedly killed in a car accident. I'm kind of hyperventilating talking about it. You never truly move beyond it. His mother, LeClaire, had made a statement. We knew Luke at some point would come to Nashville. His mother said, but you can't leave your family, and I couldn't bear the thought of him being away. Instead, Luke went to college at Georgia Southern University in Statesboro, Georgia, where he joined the Sigma Chi fraternity and graduated in 1999 with a bachelor's degree in business administration. Bryan made it to Nashville years later in 2007, after his father told him to pack his truck to pursue a career in music. He finally gained success as a songwriter, but soon after he signed as a performer. His first major success was All My Friends Say. 2006-09, I'll Stay Me. Soon after his arrival in Nashville, Bryan joined a publishing house in the city. Among his first cuts was the title track of Travis Tritt's 2004 album My Honky Tonk History. He was later signed by Capitol Nashville to a recording contract. In the meantime, Bryan co-wrote Billy Currington's single, Good Directions, which went to #1 on the Hot Country Songs chart in mid-2007. Bryan co-wrote his debut single, All My Friends Say, with producer Jeff Stevens. This song reached a peak of #5 on the Hot Country Songs chart. In August 2007, Capitol Nashville released Bryan's debut album, I'll Stay Me. Bryan wrote or co-wrote all but one of its 11 songs. The album's second single, We Rode in Trucks, peaked at #33 while Country Man reached #10. 2009-11, Doin My Thing. On March 10, 2009, he released an EP titled Spring Break with All My Friends that featured 2 new songs, Sorority Girls, and Take My Drunk Ass Home, plus an acoustic version of All My Friends Say. After this EP, he released his 4th single, Do I. In May 2009, Bryan wrote the song with Charles Kelley and Dave Haywood of Lady Antebellum, whose lead singer Hillary Scott also sings backing vocals on it. The song reached #2 on the Hot Country Songs chart. Do I was included on Bryan's second album, Doin My Thing, which was released in October 2009. Also included on the album was a cover of OneRepublic's Apologize. Bryan wrote the album's next two singles, Rain Is a Good Thing, and Someone Else Calling You Baby, with Dallas Davidson and Jeff Stevens, respectively. Both of these songs went to #1 on the country music charts. AllMusic gave this album a positive review as well, with Stephen Thomas Erlewine considering Bryan more relaxed in comparison to his debut. On February 26, 2010, Bryan released a second EP, titled Spring Break 2. Hangover Edition, which featured 3 new songs, Wild Weekend, Cold Beer Drinker, and I'm Hungover. While Bryan is mainly known as a country music singer, he has explored other genres like alternative rock with his cover of Apologize. Bryan appeared on the April 18, 2010 episode of Celebrity Apprentice alongside fellow country star Emily West. The task for each team was to make over an up-and-coming country star, with Bryan being selected by Team Rock Solid, led by Bill Goldberg, and West being selected by Team Tenacity, led by Cyndi Lauper. Bryan's makeover failed to impress the judges, leading to Rock Solid losing the task. Bryan's single, Rain Is a Good Thing, and West's single, Blue Sky, were both sold on iTunes, with a month's worth of sales being donated to Lauper's charity, the Stonewall Community Foundation, resulting in $25,000 being raised. 2011-13, Tailgates Tanlines. Bryan released his third EP, Spring Break 3. It's a Sure Thing, on February 25, 2011, featuring 4 new songs, In Love with the Girl, If You Ain't Here to Party, Sure Thing, and Love in a College Town. This release was followed by Bryan's 7th single, Country Girl, which was released on March 14, 2011. Also co-written by Bryan and Davidson, it served as the lead-off single to his third studio album, Tailgates Tanlines, which was released August 9, 2011. The album peaked at #1 on the Top Country Albums chart and #2 on the Billboard 200 chart. Country Girl peaked at #4 on the country music charts and #22 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. The album's next 3 singles, I Don't Want This Night to End, Drunk on You, and Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye, all reached #1 on the country music charts. Bryan, along with Eric Church, sang guest vocals on Jason Aldean's The Only Way I Know, the second single from his 2012 album, Night Train. On March 6, 2012, Bryan released his 4th Spring Break EP entitled Spring Break 4. Sundance City, along with the title track, which Bryan co-wrote with Dallas Davidson, Rhett Atkins, and Ben Hayslip. The EP includes Spring Break Up, Little Bit Later On, and Shake the Sand. On January 30, 2013, Bryan announced his first compilation album, Spring Break. Here to Party, which includes 14 songs, 12 from his previous Spring Break EPs and 2 new tracks. It was released on March 5. The album debuted at #1 on both the Billboard Top Country Albums chart and the Billboard 200 chart, becoming the first album of his career to top the all-genre album chart. One of the new Spring Break songs, Buzzkill, reached the top 20 on the Hot Country Songs chart. 2013-15, Crash My Party. Bryan's 4th studio album, Crash My Party, was released on August 12, 2013. The album's first single, Crash My Party, was premiered in a performance at the 2013 ACM Awards and released on April 7, 2013. It reached #1 on the Country Airplay chart in July 2013. The album's second single, That's My Kind of Night, was released to country radio on August 5, 2013. It reached #1 on the Hot Country Songs chart in August 2013 and peaked at #2 on the Country Airplay chart in October 2013. The album's third single, Drink a Beer, was released to country radio on October 24, 2013. It reached #1 on the Hot Country Songs chart in January 2014 and #1 on the Country Airplay chart in February 2014. During the kickoff show for his 2014 That's My Kind of Night tour in Columbus, Ohio, Bryan announced to the crowd that Play It Again would become the album's 4th single. This song reached #1 on both the Hot Country Songs and Country Airplay charts in May 2014. At the same time, Bryan sang guest vocals on Florida Georgia Line's 2014 single, This Is How We Roll. On July 14, 2014, the song, Roller Coaster, was released as the album's fifth single. It reached #1 on the Country Airplay chart in October 2014. The album's sixth single, I See You, was released to country radio on November 3, 2014. It reached #1 on the Hot Country Songs and Country Airplay charts in February 2015. On March 11, 2014, Bryan began his sixth year of spring performances at Spinnaker Beach Club in Panama City Beach, Florida. On the same day, he also released his sixth Spring Break EP, Spring Break 6. Like We Ain't Ever. Bryan is the only country music artist to release an album of 6 #1 singles on both the Billboard's Hot Country Songs and Country Airplay charts. 2015 present, Kill the Lights. On November 11, 2014, it was confirmed that Bryan had begun writing and recording songs for his upcoming fifth studio album. His last Spring Break album, Spring Break. Check In Out, was released on March 10, 2015. It includes the 6 songs from the previous year's EP, and 5 original new songs. On May 19, 2015, Bryan released his first single from his fifth studio album, Kill the Lights, Kick the Dust Up, which peaked at #1 on the Country Airplay chart. He co-wrote over half of the songs on this album. This album provides not only his country flair, but also has tracks that include a disco-type beat along with the songs of romance. The album's second single, Strip It Down, was released to country radio on August 4, 2015. The album was released on August 7. Kill the Lights sold 345,000 total copies its first week and beat out Dr. Dre's Compton to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. Strip It Down went #1 in October 2015, making 14 cumulative #1s. The album's third single, Home Alone Tonight, released to country radio on November 23, 2015. The song also became his 15th song to reach #1. The album's fourth single, Huntin', Fishin', and Loving Every Day, released to country radio on March 14, 2016. All 6 of the singles released from Bryan's Kill the Lights album reached #1 on the Billboard Country Airplay chart, making Bryan the first artist in the 27-year history of the chart to achieve 6 #1 singles from one album. It was announced that Bryan would perform at halftime of the 2015 Thanksgiving matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and Carolina Panthers. In 2016, Bryan was selected as one of 30 artists to perform on Forever Country, a mashup track of Take Me Home, Country Roads, On the Road Again, and I Will Always Love You, which celebrates 50 years of the CMA Awards. On February 5, 2017, Bryan performed the national anthem at Super Bowl 51 at Energy Stadium in Houston, Texas. In September 2017, Bryan was announced as a judge for the revival of American Idol on ABC. Bryan released Light It Up in mid-2017. It is the lead single to his 6th album What Makes You Country, released on December 8 of the same year. Personal life. Luke Bryan is married to his college sweetheart, Caroline Boyer, whom he met at Georgia Southern University. Bryan and Boyer married on December 8, 2006. They met at a local bar called Dingus McGee's when Bryan was a senior and Boyer was a freshman. The couple have 2 sons, Thomas, Bo, Boyer Bryan, born March 18, 2008, and Tatum, Tate, Christopher Bryan, born August 11, 2010. In 2007, Luke was invited to perform at the famous Grand Ole Opry, and his older sister Kelley organized 129 people to attend his Opry debut. A few days after his performance, his sister unexpectedly died at home for unknown reasons. Bryan said the cause remains undetermined. My only older siblings. Gone from the world. In a flash in two different, crazy, tragic manners, that we'll never know, and never understand. After Bryan's sister Kelley died, followed by her husband Ben Lee Cheshire in 2014, Bryan and his wife began raising their son Tilden. In 2015, Forbes estimated Bryan's annual income at $42.5 million. Luke Bryan also exhibits great enthusiasm for hunting and the outdoors. He is a co-owner of Buck Commander, the sister company of Duck Commander. Buck Commander teamed up with the Outdoor Channel and created a TV show for the avid hunter and enthusiast. Starring in the show are Luke Bryan, Grant Taylor, Jordan Summit, Mike Miller, Willie Robertson, co-owner of Duck Commander, Ryan Langerhans, former MLB player, Adam LaRoche, former MLB first baseman, Tomba Martin, former MLB player of 7 different teams, and Jason Aldean, a country singer and songwriter. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?